Castle Crashers might be the most classic Xbox 360 and PS3 game. I grew up playing it with my friends in elementary school, but the main problem with this glorious game is like most of your favorite shonen characters, you become overpowered very quickly. So I came up with this mind-blowing challenge of beating Castle Crashers, but I couldn't level up my character, and oh boy did I struggle.
I'm so cooked, I can't. Oh my gosh. Let's go! It only took me 5 tries to beat them. Team USA to fucking beat volleyball. Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh wait, dude, I was so close. Oh my gosh.
The game starts off pretty normal and the enemies are very easy to beat. After making my way through these little baby of enemies, I made it to the first boss, the Battle Ram, who shoots bombs at me and then would open up. And this is where I would do massive damage. After repeating this a few times, the boss was down and I was moving on. But this didn't last long, because I made it to the Barbarian boss, who was pretty easy as well. After grabbing my well-earned gold, I'm officially 1/4 through the game. Well, not really, but I've saved one of the 4 princesses. The game is no real challenge so far, and it became even easier when I met Desmond. Until I ended up leaving Desmond, and that enraged him so much and it activated his primal urges and he ended up betraying me. When I respawned, I made sure not to get off Desmond and went as far as I could go with him when I ran into this hairball. This thing wouldn't attack me or do any damage, but would spawn little minions that would just pester you, just like Dream fans in 2021. After flying around avoiding getting hit, I put the thing down and moved on to the chase scene, which is just the chase scene. While I was floating the river fighting off the crackhead bats, I ran into Catfish.
Tell him to bring out the whole ocean!
Which was a pretty simple fight of holding the block button and then mashing a combo in his face when he opened up.
Oh, finally.
These little bears. Oh, how I love them. They have caused me so many problems in the past. All these Castle Crashers experts say, "Oh, this boss is so easy, just juggle him." Getting him into the juggle is fucking hard when he's spamming a tornado at you every 3 seconds. Man, that guy was change. Make him harder next time. Now, if there is one thing I hate about this game, it's these little fucks. All they do is run away from you when you smack them. But I ended up weeding them out like Minecraft YouTubers swiping left on anyone over 18. I ran into this bean bat and I accidentally let him lick me and it ended up one-shotting me. But on the next attempt I beat him and was on the other side of the cave and it was covered in flowers. And what came next were bees.
Till the day you fucking die!
I made it to the castle and ran into my first heavy enemies. Heavy enemies are especially tough because it's impossible to jug them. It's not actually impossible to jug them. Man, shut your bitch ass up! I brute forced my way through the 3 waves of coneheads and got to the groomsmen, and I really struggled to beat this guy.
Damn. Oh my god.
I would have to go through the 3 waves of coneheads every time, but after dying to him 5 times, I put that motherfucker on a t-shirt.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
And I went to go chase after the big guy that immediately stole his brother's girlfriend when he died, which is fucked up now that I think about it. I beat the monster that came back from the chase scene and I was back in a cave. And I got overwhelmed by the 2 worst enemies in the game and perished. But I came back and spanked him. I found the big guy from the wedding and ended up dying to him because I'm an idiot. This could have been avoided, but I didn't use any of my potions. But on the next attempt, I defeated him. Well, at least for now. I headed to the industrial castle and got beasted twice and decided I would come back to this. So I went to the longest level in the game. Lava World has 6 levels and 2 bosses. The first boss is kind of a gag boss. He doesn't have a set number of health points. The only way to beat him is you have to hit him when you're beefy. After him, we made it to the real boss, which I almost beat on my first try, but I didn't, so I had to redo the whole process and got him on the second try. Now, I had to go back and finish the industrial castle, which I had a hard time getting to the boss than actually beating him. But on my 20th death, I finally took him down.
Fuck you. Let's go.
And after dying to him 20 times, my anger took full control of me and I sprinted towards him and pushed him off the roof. And with that, I now had all the artifacts to go to the other side of the map. Once I got past the ninja boat, I was in the desert where there were all sorts of bugs that I ended up spanking. I couldn't get past the aliens and they ended up abducting me and taking me into their ship. I was not complaining because I was very low on health. I wasn't the only thing that was very low on health. So are these aliens. So it doesn't really matter what level you are with these guys because you hit them once and poof, they're gone. I beat the timed escape with no problem and was back in the desert, but now with llama. I had some mild discomfort with the interior of the sandcastle just because I had to get past 3 beefies. But I got past them and was met with a volleyball game, which I failed. Not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. And on the 4th one, I beat them 10-6 and got the map from them.
It only took me 5 tries to beat him. Team USA, the fucking beach volleyball.
Which led me to the graveyard area. And this was fairly easy until I got to one part where the necromancer came back and spawned 4 beefies and 4 regular skeletons. After a few deaths, I finally beat them, and there was a cheesy little thing you could do. If I go back to the previous level and come back, this would make it if I ever died in this level, I wouldn't have to redo the beefy fight. And to spoil it for y'all, I didn't die. But I did make my way to the corn boss, who was pretty easy but took so long to beat. I would get a few hits off and he would go underground. I would do this 500 times until he was finally defeated. The next boss on the chopping block was Medusa, who I first tried. Now, I can't say I first tried the full moon level because I died 10 times. Every new wave I would get to, there would be 1 beefy, and I was trying to be quick with killing them, and I paid the price. Eventually, I got past them and made it to the ladder, which I would use the ladder trick. To execute this trick, you jump on a ladder and you jump right off. This causes the enemies to group up, which allows you to kill them all at once. After the ladder were some Eskimos that I smacked and was onto the ice fortress. And the ice boss was surprisingly easy. I beat him on the first try? It just took a little while to kill him. The painter fight. Usually this is a very easy fight because the painter doesn't actually hit you. He creates paintings that do damage if they end up hitting you. Normally if you're properly leveled, you can just tank the paintings and do damage to the painter. Since I have such little health, if one of these motherfuckers hit me, I would basically be dead. So I had to carefully hit them without getting hit. On the good side, once you get the painter down to 40% health, he will come down and actually fight you. And once I got him down here with me, it was wraps. I hit him with the nastiest combo and was on to the next boss, which was the big dude from the wedding. He basically had the same moves, but this time he would spawn a little dude that would chase you around. To get around this, I would let the big guy stomp me into the ground, and therefore the little guy couldn't hit me. After a little bit of time, I had him defeated. The next boss is considered by most people the hardest boss in the entire game. The Necromancer has 3 phases. The first phase, he spawns enemies from past levels in the game. This phase is pretty straightforward and easy, but the next phase, oh my, this is by far the hardest thing in this game. Not only are there enemies that will knock you down with bombs and arrows, it also spawns 3 beefies. I was stuck on this phase for 5 days, and I died over 30 times. On my 77th death, I finally made it past the second phase, and I had 1 health potion to spare. So if I was gonna beat this guy, I was gonna have to do it now. And yeah, I got to the last phase and it was cake. I pretty much stun locked him and it was wraps. The only thing we have to do left is beat the final boss. The final boss has 6 phases. The first phase, he shoots crystals at you. If you stand at the bottom of the screen, they can't hit you. So yeah. The next phase is by far the most annoying. He has a shield around him and I can only do damage when it turns red, but that would be too easy. So when I would hit him, he would shoot a magic spell at me that would knock me on my ass. So I would get 3 hits in and he would hit me, and I would do this over and over. Phase 3, he was the frog from Shrek and he kind of just floats around. Phase 4, he's a big spider that can't hit me if I'm comboing him. Phase 5 is another frog from Shrek, but slightly higher in the air this time. I don't know. Phase 6, he's actually on the ground fighting us. The only time I can really get damage off on him is when he floats up into the air and does his meteor attack. But with that, I've now beat Castle Crushers with no stats. And if you've made it this far into the video, just go ahead and watch another video. Fuck it, you don't have nothing going on. Just go, do it!